to the porch, boots unlaced, suspenders hanging loose at his sides. "Morning, Thomas," Earl called, handing over a single envelope. Thomas nodded. "That all?" "That's all." The truck rattled away, leaving behind a swirl of dust and the faint smell of gasoline. The envelope was cream-colored, thin, and addressed in handwriting Thomas hadn't seen in over 20 years. He didn't open it right away. Instead, he sat in the porch rocker his father had built long ago and turned the letter over in his hands as if it might speak first. The return address said only, "Margaret Hale, Cincinnati, Ohio." Margaret. He hadn't spoken her name aloud in years. Back in the mid-1920s, Cottonwood Road had been louder. Thomas's father, Elijah Hale, worked the same land his father had broken with mules before the railroad cut through Franklin County. They grew corn, soybeans, and sometimes tobacco when the market looked promising. There wasn't much cash, but there was always work. Margaret came to town that summer to stay with her aunt after her own father died in a factory accident up north. She was young then, with hair the color of chestnuts and a way of speaking that made every sentence sound like a question waiting to be answered. Thomas first saw her at the general store. She stood near the flour sacks, examining a jar of preserves like it held secrets. "You ain't from here," he'd said without thinking. She turned, smiled slightly. "Is it that obvious?" "You're looking at the label. Folks here just grab what they know." "And how do you know I don't know?" He didn't have an answer to that. They married a few years later in the small white church near the river. The preacher mispronounced